Hello again, I am back in the shed with Ed. So here we have the body minus all of the attachments, and by attachments I mean these huge arms. These are these bones, I guess. These go inside the arms, holding them on. Got them down the bottom there in pieces, and I've taken all the bits off because it's now time to finish off the body. So I need to make a mouth and then onto the dome. The back bit that was around here that I spoke about in the last couple of videos has been done. That just needs to be put on there, and then it'll be a case of detailing up the body and all the other pieces so they're all as good as the legs. Speaking of legs, I still haven't remade this bit here. I got home and thought to myself, why would I risk just making another one and then coming back here only to find out it's a fail? So I'm going to cut a circle with a square hole in the middle, put it on there so I know for a fact it's the right size, and then take them home and modify these. Should have done that the other day, but hey ho. So I've remade the this thing. I say remade, I've made a crude mock-up, and I think that looks pretty cool. The surface you see here is the widest point, so that would be the raised areas. So I'm going to take that off there, take it back with these, cut these apart, make smaller size circles, chop a chunk out of this, wrap the circles, and then have two bits that fit. So yeah, I'm going to take these home and work on those and make them the right size, and I'm also going to take home what we've got down here, a quick mock-up of the dome to make the actual dome for the body. Now I know what you're thinking, taking the dome home and work on that, you might end up coming a cropper again like you did with these. Working on bits that you haven't got the corresponding bits to join them onto is a recipe for disaster. Fool me once and all that. So obviously the only way to stop that from happening is to take home the bit that the dome fits to, and that is of course this, the body. And look at the size of this, look at that, humongous, absolutely humongous. Now I haven't told the wife that I plan on taking this home. Is she going to be happy? That remains to be seen. She wasn't exactly thrilled having these humongous legs live in her living room for the best part of a week, but I live my life by the phrase it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. So I'll see you in a minute in my living room, and maybe with the wife in the background give me evils, but she'll get over it because she loves me because I'm awesome. So we've got the body plus the mock-up dome and the frame for the dome, and there's a bit of space in the van as well, so I thought I'd put the entire left and right arm in there too. In for a penny, in for a pound, I suppose. So here's where I'm at in the living room. We've got the back details on here. And I've made a rough dome. Now this one is very rough and just pinned into shape, and the plan is to cover this in foil and duct tape to make a really accurate template, to make a nice new one out of some more foam, and then lay that on the top so it's double thick and would hopefully hold its shape. So this is the start of making a template of the dome I've already done. So you put foil down first, the tape doesn't stick to the foam underneath because obviously you're going to want to take it off, and the foil you can easily be bent and crumpled up into any shape, and you put the duct tape on top to keep it in that shape. So I've done the front bit here, and it's just thin enough to be able to see the edge line, and I'm pinning it as I go to stop it shifting around. I've just got to continue this all the way around and do both sides. Now normally you'd only do half of something and flip it, but what I've made might not be 100% symmetrical, so I'm going to make sure I do both sides. So that's the dome now all covered. I've now got to take a pen and mark where I want these seams to be, which is going to be along this one here, I believe. And one foam mat will be this piece and this piece, and there'll obviously be joins along the sides, but I hope you're going to cover those as best I can rather than it being made of a million little pieces. It's hopefully going to be less pieces and look a bit nicer. So the lines are drawn on and the excess is trimmed off. So now all I have to do is cut along those lines, and that will give me a front piece, a big top piece, a right side and a left side. Let's do it. So I've cut all these off. It's just the front bit. Just cut down that line. And the idea now is to lay these as flat as I can. Might have a little bit of problem with this piece, but we'll see how we go. Onto some different floor mats, and these ones I'm going to use this texture instead of it being the underside. It's going to be the outward facing side. So this texture is going to be, I'm going to leave it as is, probably won't even paint it, but that's going to be the dome texture. The only thing I can think of that's going to maybe cause me a problem is when I have to make seams, because obviously one of these mats isn't big enough to cover the whole thing. It might mess up the pattern. So I cut out this piece, as it's the smallest piece, just the proof of concept. And oh man, look at that! That looks really cool, if I do say so myself. That texture is really awesome, and I don't need to do anything to get that texture. That's just the textured side of the mat. Only problem I foresee is, will these pieces fit over that properly, because the templates are wafer thin and this is thick. So we might have a problem there, but we'll find out when I've made more. And also, obviously there's a seam here I'm not worried about, but where the mat's only 60 centimeters, I only need 2 for each of the big sections, and there'll be a join, and that might look a bit crappy, but we'll see how it looks. There's nothing I can do to avoid that. I'll just make sure that they're as far back as I can get them, so at least from the front it looks nice.